provide value in so many different ways, but I'm going to share with you 3 things that I think are, I guess I wanted to describe this giver-taker matcher. You can take a picture of it, but I think we all can get a sense of what being a giver and a taker is in a relationship, right? I bet a lot of you think, and I want to ask that question, well, I'm a giver. I don't think anybody's here like, I'm totally a taker. Any takers? Oh, a couple? Okay, hey, I like that. But I bet you most of us will say, I'm generous, I think I'm a giver. I think what the reality is, and most of us will find, is that we're actually more matchers. This is a book, actually. I got this from a book called Give and Take by Adam Grant. This is some research he's done. That's this nerdy stuff interests you. I totally encourage you to check out his book. But this was really fascinating to me. I bet you think you're a giver. I want to help people. That's why I want to be a coach. I like to help people. I love people. I want to give this back. What we generally mean is, I want to help them when they buy a challenge card. Right? Like, I want to help people. You have this coach for your team. They're like super excited. I want to help people, but I don't want to get uncomfortable. I want to help people when I'm validated first. That's a matcher. We're matchers. We want to help people when we get something first. And generosity, it cannot be a business strategy. It has to be part of who you are. It has to be a part of your heart and soul. It has to be your primary motivation for doing this. Something that I found very fascinating, before I go into those things, when I was looking at this research by Adam Grant, was they were looking at the performance of people, whether they were givers, takers, or matchers. And they did the research to ask who were the highest performers, who were the lowest performers in work. This was in business. And the lowest performers were givers. Like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that. But the highest performers were givers. Matchers and takers are kind of in the middle. There's a difference. There's 2 types of givers. There's the selfless givers, and you can think of these people as the people who let people take advantage of them, who will compromise their own success to help others. The people who will, they'll tend to fall behind on their activities. I bet you, who thinks they're a selfless giver? I see some faces that are like, oh, that's why. Yeah, I see this a lot. I see this a lot in coaches, because we tend to be people who want to give, but we tend to let others take advantage of it. So he calls it the otherish givers. These are they're smart and strategic about their giving. They're just as generous as selfish or selfless givers. But they're just smart and strategic, and they've learned how to navigate the world so that matchers and takers don't take advantage of them. So that's the key. Okay, my favorite ways to make these relational deposits are value-driven follow-ups, community contribution through social media. Lots of ways, but I just wanted to talk about these because this is where I think a lot of us can find a lot of value, is this value-driven follow-ups. We talk to a lot of people, but we're usually doing it to check off the business activity tracker, right? Okay, so you said 3 people today. I did it. Boom. Okay. All right. Connections. All right. How many this week? All right. How many invitations? Transactional. We want to constantly be thinking of ways that we can give value back to people. So we ask you to track so they don't slip through the cracks, but also so you can, that girl who told me 3 weeks ago, she had been MIA, I just followed up with her like, hey, like, what's up? Like, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, yeah, I've been working on things, and actually I've been running, and I'm gonna do a 5K I actually registered for a 5K on New Year's Day, and I was like, well, good for you, or New Year's Eve, whatever it was. And in my head, I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to set a reminder to like wish her luck on, this is a girl who like, she's not really invested, but I knew she'd been trying, and she'd been ghosting me a little bit. This is what I'm talking about with value-driven follow-ups. It's gotta be about them and not about you. These follow-ups that we're doing, it's gotta be about others and not about you. So, contribution to community, I think this is really undervalued. I think underestimated as something that makes serious transformation in our own business, is the support environment that you're a part of in this organization or in this business, in this network. Your team pages, Beachbody champions, maybe the groups that your coach runs that you bring people into, we often kind of take from them. We think, oh, that was created for me. I came into this environment, like that's for me to take from, and we don't really, we don't give to it. We're takers from it. So I want you to view the environments that you've used that support you and that encourage you, the environments that maybe it's your uplines, like the motivation and stuff. I want you to imagine it as if it were your own, and what you would want to see in terms of others. I think we generally like to just take from it. We don't pay attention to, oh, but welcome to new coach, blah, 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 like, oh, I need that. My rule of thumb is 3 to 1. If I'm going to come in and take something from this group and like ask a question or complain or customer service issue, like it's a 3 to 1 rule. You give 3. Whether you're a new coach, you can give love, you can give likes, you can give comments, you can give support. You have value to give in those environments. So that's a big rule of thumb. I think you will see exponential support and elevation from community contribution. And then social media, obviously, posting value, not for validation. Posting to provide value, even if you think, this isn't going to be super popular, but I feel like I can give something here. So you're not worrying about the likes, you're not worrying about the follows. You're not posting because I don't think I can post as well. I don't have the photo filters, or I don't know how, I'm not as good as her. Because that's also where we get to that transactional mindset of, well, I don't want to post because I'm not as good, but you have value to give. So being proactive rather than reactive. Oh, gotta post today. Oh, shoot, what do I say today? Like having a vision for what value you want to give, being able to come to it with showing up as your whole self. All right, last couple are quicker. And that is to develop a gratitude practice. And I know she's so warm and fuzzy, but this is actually research. This is science. Grateful people are more successful, they're happier, they have better health. And I don't just mean grateful people, I mean people who develop a gratitude practice. I know you've heard this before. I know the gratitude journals, they sound really fun, they sound really great for people who actually take the time to do them. It's like personal development. I don't know if any of you had the same experience as me, where you're like, yeah, that sounds great, but I have 3 children, I have a baby and 2 toddlers, and the last thing I have time for is books right now. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure it's great, but like, until 5.5 months in, I was like, I'm screwed. Like, I cannot do this. And that's when I discovered, like, I absolutely need this practice in my life, or I'm going to fail. Developing a gratitude practice, what it does is it helps you, it creates it rewires the way you look at your day-to-day. When you every day have to find new things to be grateful for, when you write down, say 3 things a day that you're grateful for, and it's something new, you are training your brain to see good in all situations, to view the next thing you come up against as like, why is this happening now, to what can I learn from this? But we have to train our brain to do that. If it's not your default, it is not always our default. The more we practice this, the more it rewires the way we look at life. So this is something we all have to practice constantly. Okay, and I'm sorry this is warm fuzzy, but like they invited me here. Greg invited me, like this is the way this was my journey. This warm fuzzy, right. But I'm not as warm fuzzy as it sounds. I think warm fuzzy is badass. I'm sorry, I think generosity is ninja. Okay, so this last part, so we can move on to whatever Michael and crazy and say, is to give yourself the same compassion and grace you give others. Oh, there she goes again. No. This isn't warm fuzzy. This is, we tell people one thing and then we live another. We say we came into coaching to like help others see their value, and we want them to see their worth. And it's okay if you had a rough week. It's okay if you binged on that pizza. It's okay if you gained that weight back. It's okay. You still show up for yourself. You deserve this. You can have failures and then have success. You deserve it. We say all these things, we post about it, but then we still have the negative self-talk. And then when we fall short of our own goals, our own standards, and then we don't show up well the next day, people see that BS. They see through that BS. If this is not me being warm fuzzy, like, I love you guys, you really need to like see your worth and give yourself grace. That's not me doing that right now. This is me like, you gotta stop it. Because we are lying to people and we're hypocrites when we don't show up in a way that they can see that living example. People need living examples of people who are imperfect, flawed, screw up, fail. They need to see when you fall short, because I know this is idealistic, that you're gonna go home, it's gonna be like rainbows and butterflies. It's not. And you're gonna have days where you struggle. But like, people need living examples of that. And not you talking about it on social media. Oh, so I overate and it's New Year, it was Christmas, and now I'm back on track. Like, not us just talking about those things. The actual living example that I deserve success in my life, that I am more than worthy to show up and provide value. They need living examples of what it looks like to give themselves grace, to forgive themselves every day. So, as I close, and I'll remind you that we are talking about a business, and it does have times when it needs to be transactional. And you picture this beautiful, idealistic picture. This is about finding the balance that brings you fulfillment. So a transaction is to do things right. Transformational is to do the right thing. A transaction is inside the box. A transaction or transformation might need to work across boxes. So you see, they're not versus each other. It is more seeing that right balance. That balance that brings you fulfillment, and that balance that moves you forward in your journey. But if we're finding ourselves stalled or going backwards, that's where we'll want to think about these ways that we can use these value-driven follow-ups, these relational accounts, creating goals with clarity. A transaction focuses on the bottom line, a transformation on the horizon. A transaction has a short-range view, a transformation has a long-range perspective. A transaction focuses on goals for improvement. A transformation focuses on goals of innovation and creativity. A transaction is tactics, a transformation is strategy. So I hope you guys all found some tools today that'll help you find that perfect balance for you to keep things going, but that transformational approach that will help you make the leap this year in 2018. So if you have any questions, follow up with me. There's my contact information. I'd love to connect with you. So thanks so much. Thanks for having me.